The BMW i3 is one of the most popular, well-loved electric vehicles on the market, and because of that, BMW took the decision to release a sportier, faster version in the shape of this i3s. While it compromises in some areas, the i3s brings added performance and added character to the table. So in this review, we're going to be comparing it to the original i3 model to see if it's worth paying just that little bit more. I'm Charlie Atkinson and welcome to EV Powered's review of the BMW i3s. When the i3 landed in 2013, it quickly established itself as one of the best electric vehicles around. And on this i3s, it stuck to the core values of the vehicle. It's had a bit of a facelift with these 20-inch alloy wheels and these puffed out wheel arches, giving it a much more muscly feel to it and taking a big step back away from that bubble car aesthetic. Just by standing back and looking at this car, you can see it's got a much meaner looking face and it's not as cute and cuddly as the original i3. It's by no means the best looking car around, but it gets a lot better once you step inside. Now, for a fairly small car, there's actually a surprising amount of space inside here. The windows are really nice and big and it bleeds a lot of natural light into the car and it gives you that really nice sense of airiness and space. There's also no transmission tunnel, so there's lots of room down below by your feet. And yeah, in this cabin, there's just lots and lots of space for you. You've got your driver controls located just behind the steering wheel along with your heads-up display, and your infotainment screen is just to the left there. It's not as big as you'll get in some other electric cars, which isn't the end of the world, but what is annoying is this little dial here you use to control it, which is really quite oversensitive and really fiddly to control. Overall, it's really nice and comfortable to be sat in the driver's seat of this car. There are 4 different interior options to choose from, and in this model we've got the leather seats, which are an absolute delight. The wood effect in this car is slightly odd, but it does sort of make sense when you consider that all the materials used on the inside of this car are all recycled and natural materials, and it does fit in with that philosophy of an electric car. All in all, when it comes to the inside of this car, BMW have got it pretty much spot on.
Elsewhere, you can also enjoy audio from a Harman Kardon surround sound system, as well as other handy features such as wireless charging for your phone, reversing cameras, and BMW's Driving Assistant Plus package, which offers you adaptive cruise control and lane assist. In the back, it's more of the same, with a decent amount of space and legroom, but any of your taller friends may feel their head scraping against the roof with a limited amount of headroom. There's not too much in the way of boot space either, with only 260 litres available. Now, while this may be more than the Mini Electric, the size of the boot is fairly disappointing when you compare it to the likes of the Renault Zoe, for example, which has 338 litres of boot space. Let's hop back into the driver's seat and see what the BMW i3s is like on the road.
Now, this car was designed to be a lot quicker and a lot sportier than the original i3 model, and BMW has definitely achieved that. It can do 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds compared to the 7.3 seconds you'll get on the earlier i3 model, and that's thanks to an upgraded battery up to 135 kilowatts as opposed to the 125 kilowatts on the i3. As well as that, the i3s is a little bit lower than the i3 and it's got thicker tyres as well, all of which means it handles a lot better and a lot smoother and it rides really well. Even when you chuck it into corners, there's not too much lean in the body and you can really feel it sticking to the road. All things considered, once you're behind the wheel of the i3s, you can settle down into a nice, comfortable drive, but you've also got that speed behind you as well, so when you want to, you can really have a lot of fun with this car. Unfortunately, all that fun does come at a bit of a cost, however, because the i3s has around 5% less range than the original i3 model. According to BMW, this i3s has a WLTP certified range of 176 miles, which is quite a bit less than the 190 miles you're guaranteed from the BMW i3. In the real world, you can expect around 150 miles of range, and that's purely because you can't just plod along in this car. You really do have to resist the urge to catapult yourself off away from a set of traffic lights and to fly around town, because if you don't, your range is really going to suffer as a consequence.
Although you'll have less range, the i3s will take around 12 hours to charge fully from a 3 kWh charger and around 6 hours using a 7 kWh charger. The use of a 50 kWh CCS charger will also take you from 20 to 80% in around 40 minutes. On those longer journeys, you will more than likely have to plan a charging stop, as well as resisting the temptation to keep your foot from pressing down on the throttle, which is easier said than done. In terms of price, this higher end model of the i3s comes in at £38,200, which is a serious markup on the i3's starting price of £34,000, especially when you consider that for that price, you're getting a car that has less range, is slightly better looking, and is only half a second quicker. So after looking at it, sitting in it, and driving it, what's our final verdict of the BMW i3s?
The i3 already had a very strong reputation by the time the i3s came along, and now with this added power and character, it remains a very solid choice on the electric vehicle market. I have really enjoyed my time with this car, but I've got to say, considering the price and considering the drop off in range, I'd probably stick with the original i3 and save myself a few pennies along the way. That's all for this video. If you liked it, please do drop us a like and remember to subscribe as well. You can also head over to our channel and check out all our other electric car reviews. And for daily news coverage, features and much more, head over to evpowered.co.uk. Once again, thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next video.